Hi, this is the Wealth Doctor with must-knows about annuities. Annuities. Really, we hear a lot about annuities, and you've probably been approached about annuities. So the first thing that you really need to know is that annuities are extremely complicated life insurance contracts. That's right. It's life insurance or life insurance contracts, and are sold by life insurance agents. So it's a commissionable product. These are originally, and the commissions can be pretty fierce in many cases. The original, in a good way, by the way, good litmus test for what the commission is, in my view, is to find out what the surrender charges are the first year. That's how much, if you put in $1 million, saw one today, and the surrender charge is 7%, that means you get $930,000 back, and $70,000 is lost to surrender charge. And that's pretty close, in my long experience, to what the first year commission to the agent is, right? So you want to be cognizant of this. So annuities are originally designed for lifetime income, like pensions, and only life insurance will do that because of the mortality calculations. But the simple concept has been stretched so thin that you really have to read all of the fine print. You almost have to have a lawyer with a magnifying glass to pour through it to tell you what you're getting into. You can't rely, in my experience, on the agent's representations or even what the brochure says. You have to see what the legal contract between you and the life insurance company says, because that's what governs your relationship, not what you remember that the agent said 2 years ago. So read the fine print to really understand what these confusing products do, what they really do, and what they cost you, and what the guarantees really are. And often they're not nearly as strong as you might like them to be or might have been led to believe they are, and what they actually are. Most of these products, as mentioned, have very high commissions, which are hard to spot. You may hear things. In fact, I was trained back in the day when I was a life insurance agent. We're feeling fiduciaries now. But you may hear things like, you don't pay me a commission. I'm paid directly by the company, which really is kind of a half-truth, because you give your money to the life insurance company. The life insurance company, in turn, gives a chunk of it to the agent that sold it, usually within a week once they cash your check. But the truth is, it permanently comes out of your wealth. Where else could it come from? I mean, really, think about where else could it come from. And typically, you never make it back. It never comes back, no matter how long you wait, because of the way that the matrix of expenses and the surrender charges and high annual fees that are built into these things. And for equity index annuities, which have become increasingly popular, and I think are pretty dangerous, because people think they get all the performance of the stock market with none of the risk, which really is not even close to true. How could it be true if you thought about that logically? But in those cases, the fees and costs are kind of bundled in to the formula of how the interest is calculated. So it's difficult to really pull with the fees out. But rest assured, they're in there. How else would the insurance company make any money? Obviously, they're a for-profit company. So also, it's important to think that buying lifetime income, buying yourself a pension, can be really important. And for some people, they should do that. But you want to be careful about annuitizing. Annuitizing means you are permanently converting your principal, $1 million in the annuity, to lifetime income. And you have a variety of ways you can do that and choices, but a pure life payout is $1 million gives me X amount of dollars per month until I die, and then it stops. If I live to be 120, turned out to be a really good deal for me and my family. If I die tomorrow, not such a good deal, right? And there are a lot of ways to slice that. Can be joint and survivor and joint and two-thirds survivor and a refund, all kinds of permutations, but that's the basic premise. Once you convert or annuitize this to income, that is typically irrevocable. You can never get your money back before. You bought a pension, and now you have a pension and not a chunk of capital anymore. But you want to be careful about doing that, because if you do it when rates are low, think about mortgages, right? You lock into a mortgage rate at a low rate, that payment stays low forever. But now if it's being paid to you and it's a low payment and interest rates go up, inflation, becomes a problem again, as likely, I think, down the road, that payment typically doesn't go up. So you want to be very careful about how you turn it on, when you turn it on, and and whether it makes sense and is opportune, and how it fits into the matrix of the rest of your retirement income. And the last thing I'll talk about in this crash course, but you should watch my longer courses on this stuff to really dig into and understand this stuff if you want to consider them, is that annuities have the worst tax treatment in my experience, in the entire investments world. For one thing, the gains on them are taxed at your highest marginal rate, the highest tax bracket that you're exposed to. You don't get any capital gains rate. You don't get any of the preferred dividend rate. It's all taxed at your highest marginal rate. Plus, unlike virtually every other investment, you have to pay tax on all the gain before you get back to your taxable return of principal. And maybe the worst thing is there's no step up in basis, which means that if I, say I'm old granddad Jeff here, bought a share of stock for $1,000, back in the dim mists of prehistory, and now it's worth $1 million. So I've got $1 million minus 100, just about $1 million gain, right? Under existing law, at my death, the capital gains tax is forgiven. My basis, what I paid for the stock when I calculate the taxable gain, is stepped up from $100 to $1 million. If I sell it the next day, $1 million minus $1 million is zero gain, is no tax. That doesn't happen for annuities. It doesn't happen for annuities, which I think is really, really, unfortunate and expensive. So there's a lot of other hair on these things. And for those of you that really, really, really should use an annuity, and there are many of you that should, that makes sense to buy a lifetime income, there are a lot of really inexpensive, no commission, no load type products out there that probably are a better fit, certainly more cost effective, preserve more value for you and your family, but you don't get pitched them mostly because there are no commissions, right? Commission salespeople are paid to pitch products they get paid a lot of money on. So you have to go to a fiduciary advisor, like those that I speak about in my other, or teach about in my other classes, and what some of the firms I'm associated with do. Anyway, that's it for this crash course on annuities. To get more detail on this critical topic and many other important wealth subjects, remember to like and subscribe to this channel to get full access to all my short and extended wealth education classes and the entire catalog we'll put together for you. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, this is Jeff Kamar, the Wealth Doctor. Bye-bye.